Hi, I'm Don Roden with McFeelys, marketing manager for internet and also the tech support and product support. What I have here are four different types of screws. The one at the top is a brass screw. It is your traditional screw, and if you'll notice, the unthreaded shank at the top is the same diameter as the screw threads all the way down. And you'll notice the shank then reduces as it gets closer to the point. The next one down is a production type screw. Most of the screws you use today and everything you do are production screws. They're made from a coil of wire, and you'll notice that the shank diameter is pretty consistent all the way down to the point. This gives you what's called deep threads. So you've got deep threads all the way along the shank, going all the way into the wood. The next one I threw in here is a drywall screw. Notice that the shank on the drywall screw is thinner than the production screw. They are designed for going into drywall, and then in this case it's coarse thread, so it's into a wood stud. I cringe every time I hear somebody talk about you can use drywall screws for this, and you can use how to use drywall screws as pocket hole screws. There's a trade-off. A lot of people do it because they think they're saving money, and you do, versus the quality of the finished product that you're going to have. So that's just something to keep in mind. The last one I've got up here is this new Spax MDF hardwood screw. It's a countersunk flathead screw. It's got nibs underneath the head to help countersink it. But the critical thing is, if you'll notice right down at the tip, it's got like a diamond point, which helps drill its way through. And it's just amazing. When I grew up in my dad's shop, he always built his face frames out of red oak. So there was all kinds of red oak in the shop, and I could use as much of it as I wanted, all the scraps. But I learned very quickly, when you get down close to the end, and back then it was driving nails, you better pre-drill or it's going to split. So what we've got are these new screws from Spax. They have a T-Star. This is a T-Star Plus. That's Spax's name for a Torx drive. The only difference is that this one has a little nib. Let's see if we can show it right here on the end that fits inside a recess. You can use a standard Torx bit on it. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got two lines drawn here. One's a 1/2 inch. This is an inch in from the end. And I'm going to drive this first one an inch in from the end. You can see it's got a little pie, maybe you can't. Okay, it's down, no cracks. I'll hold this up a little closer so you can get a look at it. No splitting. So now I'm going to move down to the other end, and I'm going to go within a 1/2 inch. Okay, within a 1/2 inch, no splits. Now I'm going to go on the corner here. See if I can get this started right on the corner. I'll get as close as I can. There we go. Driving in. It's got a trim head on it, so it's like a trim head nail, small profile. I'm going to take just another regular trim head screw. This is a square drive, number 1 drive, and I'm just going to put it in the middle and let's see what happens. Well, didn't get any split, but I was in right in the middle. Now I'll take just a regular flathead screw and run it in over here. Again, it's in the middle. It's not close to the end. Didn't get any, got a little chip out there, but it's in pretty good shape. So that's in hardwood. Got a piece of, or a couple pieces of MDF over here. Switch my bit back over. And again, I'm going to go about an inch in from the end. Okay. Now you're probably wondering what's happening on the other side. Tighten it down a little bit. There we go. No tear out or splitting. You wouldn't expect that from on that side. I'm just going to run these on the side. Now before I go all the way down in, hold it up here. There we go. It's not splitting. And even if I run the head all the way down, and you wouldn't do this normally, you can see there's no separation. So I think it's a really good screw that fits a need and a little niche when you're working with things like that. Come back over to my red oak. I'm going to show you this flat bottom drill bit. Challenge of being my own cameraman here. Pull back just a little bit. Just has a flat bottom on it. I think it's really nice. If you were to drill and plug holes and you wanted a little bit more holding power versus a flathead, you could use a washer head screw. The counter bore on these comes in different sizes. But there you've got a washer head screw in there with a little bit more holding power. One thing about countersinking, if you're using standard or production type screws, you want to use a straight drill bit because that follows the shank of the screw all the way down. Your old tapered drill bits are designed for your traditional screws where that shank tapers down toward the point. And last, I just want to touch on the square drive advantage. Find my square drive screws here. There. The bit is tapered, and so is the recess, so it fits snugly. No magnetism, but it holds on at all different kinds of angles. Can't do that with a Phillips.